I am, that's the way it goes, of course. This is Brian.
Yellow.
This is Benio, Nightingale.
Hello, hello.
And this is the Monk of Magnesia.
Hello!
So this is the trailer, as we're about to find out about, for Caretaker, which I get the feeling is going to be way better than Time Heist.
Oh, that's the name of the episode?
Caretaker.
Oh, yeah, Caretaker. This story takes place at Coal Hill School, which, as you all know, originally appeared in Unearthly Child and then Remembrance of the Daleks, and has been mentioned by previous doctors many times. But actually, Unearthly and Remembrance, until Day of the Doctor, were the only stories where we actually saw the Doctor's adventures happen in or around the school, as well as Doctor's Lane. And this is happening exclusively, from the look of it, in Coal Hill School. So, this is a return of sorts for the Doctor. And it makes perfect sense, because that's where we first saw Clara, for no apparent reason, suddenly becoming a school teacher. So, this is the first still, everyone. What do you think about this? This chap here looks a bit familiar.
I'm not sure. I hope he's not Ian that never aged.
A bit sort of Matt Smithy, even a bow tie.
No, that is true.
Oh, you guys are trying to say that's Ian?
No, I'm hoping it's not Ian.
Doesn't look anything like Ian Chesterton. They were obviously in a school teacher's room, which is, that's the first shot. And then guess who comes in? Wonder who he could be.
I thought he was the, what was it? Caretaker means something different, right?
Yes. Well,
would that mean like
Yeah,
a janitor?
we're talking about the guy next to the Doctor.
Oh, is he like the principal or the headmaster, as they call it?
Yeah, I think he's the headmaster.
well, I was talking about the Doctor, actually, because he's clearly the caretaker. But that could have a double meaning.
Yeah, that means janitor in our country.
Oh. I had to just say janitor.
Under surveillance.
I'm surprised that a caretaker would be introduced to every single classroom.
Me too.
In our country, they're never pointed out. You just see them.
So they're loitering around, basically.
Right.
Ah.
So this is weird. Maybe he wanted to see everybody or something for a reason.
We've got Bloom.
I'm thinking of an idea. Maybe one of the teachers is not a teacher at all.
Ah. What do you think, Brian? Since you're young and energetic.
I don't think he's a villain at all. I think he's just one of the staff within the school.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think that's probably the only time we'll see him is when he introduces the Doctor to the classroom, and he's probably just a very, very minor character.
And then he just basically fucks off for the rest of the episode.
Yeah, it just fades into the background. We'll probably see him again, would make a facial reaction or something.
I don't think that head teacher could fade into the background from the look of it, but see, he looks very sort of Matt Smithy there. And Clara obviously is a little bit shocked to see the Doctor doing a sort of human, family blood type thing.
Maybe that guy right there could be either some kind of alien or something, or there's an alien in the school and he's one of its followers, like they did in school. Well, not kind of like a school reunion thing, I guess.
Yeah. I think he's going to be gay.
Is he the character from the 50th who told Clara that she had a phone call from the Doctor?
Yes, that is him.
It could be the same character, but it's obviously a different actor.
Is it? I thought it's the same character.
Because
it looks like
he looks more like Hugh Laurie, where the guy from Day of the Doctor looked like a right sissy, a little sort of bloke. Yeah, more round-headed.
Oh, you don't mince your words, do you?
No. This is the entrance, the back entrance. No innuendo intended. And it's boarded up, of course, and it's still Coal Hill School, and the police are there, which is, it could be a reference to the opening scene of Unearthly Child and Day of the Doctor again.
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think so. I don't think that's an opening scene. It doesn't look like an opening scene.
Well, trailers, they sometimes get shifted about, so what you see in the trailer doesn't represent, the scene by scene of the episode. And it is boarded up, everyone. So
maybe, I don't know, maybe that's a what do you call that? A certain wing or something in the school or something.
Ooh, mysterious wing.
Ooh.
Maybe that's where the villain is hiding within the episode.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, which leads us into this. Glowing eyes from the darkness.
I want to say some kind of robotic alien or some kind of entry.
Oh, yes, most definitely.
Something robotic or organic and robotic in origin.
And there's the Doctor.
Well, the Doctor knows clearly something's going on, and he's got that watch, which later in the trailer,
Sonic?
shows him to disappear. It's some sort of shifting or...
Oh, could that be a vortex manipulator?
No.
Possibly.
I don't think so. I don't think it is.
I really can't see what it is.
So the cloaking device, like in
Possibly.
Star Trek?
Mm-hmm.
And that's presumably the same entrance. And here's the robot that the Doctor says is one of the most deadliest thingy-majigs ever invented.
Maybe it's mixture.
Ah, yeah. Looks friendly. And we do actually see more of him, or her. So there's so you can see, it's sort of Japanese alien sort of writing. There's the head of this, but the actual big body is bigger than that.
That would be kind of funny if that thing was the headmaster.
Yeah. Why do you think it might be the headmaster then here?
I don't know. It's just some weird idea.
Oh. Might be. And there's the watch, you see. So
Never mind, it's not a vortex manipulator. It's too small.
A new toy for the BBC to sell. The Doctor's watch.
Yes.
Or maybe that's his new Sonic.
That's true.
A Sonic watch.
Well, he's wearing the wedding bands, which eventually is supposed to become a sonic ring.
Oh dear.
Did they actually confirm that?
Yeah, they said it was going to turn into a sonic ring at some point, but they didn't say which episode. But he's been wearing his wedding band ever since he's been the Doctor.
Yep, he has. I've noticed.
Mm-hmm.
Just seem rather interesting though, because in the trailer you see him sort of shift. That sort of special effect used by the Predators in the 80s and 90s, where it sort of shimmers. So
Mm.
he's undercover, so that would make sense, wouldn't it? You know. And janitors do have access to a school, you know, caretakers in the UK, which means they can, you know,
Go about
basically,
it.
yeah, after schools close down, they can sort of get up to nefarious things.
Hmm. And even question the staff sometimes.
Yeah, and this is the action bit of the trailer.
Is that right there?
That's Pinky. I mean,
That is him.
yeah, Sammy Pinky or whatever.
Danny.
Danny Pinky. Someone's causing an explosion, which presumably is the same thing, but the Doctor's using his sonic like a blooming sodding Harry Potter wand.
Looks like he's trying to prevent something. Like maybe he's putting up a force field with his sonic.
Yeah.
I think this will be the episode that I'll have to see if I like or hate Danny for the rest of the season.
Is he using it on the Android thingy-majig, though?
That's... could that be what happened? Could that be the explosion?
They emphasised that quite a bit in the trailer.
Or maybe it's a Sonic versus a Sonic? We always know what happens when that happens.
Well, according to issue 478 of Doctor Who magazine, now available if you can afford expensive magazines, there is actually a review, well, a preview, I mean, of the episode. It's written by Gareth Roberts and Stephen Moffat again.
Ugh.
Jordan Bennett. Does he have to have input to every sodding episode? Anyway, it says Coal Hill School has a new caretaker. He hides a strange blue box in his cupboard and carries a sonic screwdriver instead of a broom. Clara is suitably mortified, but the Doctor has got bigger things to worry about, especially when Danny Pink starts to work out just what has been going on. And quote unquote has this exchange between Clara and the Doctor. This school is in danger. Lucky I'm here then. From you. You wouldn't be here if there wasn't an alien threat nearby. Your strategy for dealing with it involves endangering this school. You don't know that. I don't know anything, because you haven't told me anything, which means I wouldn't approve, which means you're endangering this school. Very sort of Doctorish.
Yes, just like last week's episode was very Seventh Doctorish.
Yeah. Well, he's obviously there for a reason. It does seem a bit curious, because in Day of the Doctor, where you see her very briefly at Coal Hill School, which they didn't really elaborate on very much, the next scene you see her motorcycling into the TARDIS, and the Doctor was aware, presumably, that Matt Smith's Doctor, that she was working at Coal Hill School. So is it possible, do you think, that in his previous incarnation he might have suspected something about Coal Hill School was brewing?
Maybe when he was in his 7th incarnation during Silver Nemesis.
Well, you know everything about that, Neo.
I got Silver Nemesis.
Yeah. He was sort of...
I got all of Mulvey's stuff.
In essence, he went back to recover the hand of Omega. Is it possible, Neo, Monk, Brian, that this might be, he's going back to solve something that he left, getting worse, or...
Well, yeah, because in Silver Nemesis, it's sort of implied that the reason the Doctor and his granddaughter came to Earth wasn't just so Susan could have a normal life, but he had to plant the hand of Omega.
If William Hartnell was with the, in Unearthly Child, they live in a junkyard, him and Susan, is it possible that during that time period, before he kidnapped Ian and Barbara, who might get a reference, well, they're bound to get some sort of reference, I would have thought, in this story, he could have been the caretaker back then. Nobody would even recognise him, obviously.
He could have, as long as he didn't run into Ian and Barbara, because they didn't know who he was. They didn't say, "You're the caretaker from the school."
Yeah,
That's right.
That's a fascinating idea of mine, isn't it?
He
But
could
I
have
don't
been the nighttime caretaker.
Yeah,
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
in
true.
that case, he would never have run into the teachers.
Right.
it would fit into the first Doctor's desire to have absolutely no sort of interaction with people. Yeah, take a night shift. You can, in essence, avoid most people during the daytime because you might be sleeping. Although the Doctor doesn't technically sleep or eat, unless.
Well, he takes short naps.
Yeah, he takes time lordy regeneration naps.
Mm-hmm.
He takes naps standing while people are talking.
But what about the robot though? Because it, you know, in the actual promo pictures, it's rather beautifully designed, and looks like a sort of spider Dalek in some way. You know, it's because it's on its sort of hind legs.
It does look like it's insect-based design.
It's not. It's not a. It doesn't look like a Dalek. Like the.
But what the? Yeah. But what the hell is it doing in the school? I mean, what purpose does it have there? Oh, of course, we forgot one ingredient, everybody. As this is quite clearly a sort of echoing back to unearthly remembrance, where there were some sort of mysterious goings on back then, which have been elaborated on in different ways through different medias. This is, in essence, what we have so far is like a modern day, you know, first Susan, Ian, and Barbara. You have the Doctor, Clara, Danny Pink, and now we have an earthly child for 2014 in the figure of Courtney, who is a black young girl who's been already sighted a few times. And interestingly enough, in Unearthly, you have a flashback where Susan is answering back to Ian Chesterton. And the same happened with Courtney and Clara. There's no pause button on this.
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello. I'm here.
I'm here.
Oh, fucking say something then.
I'm sorry.
Not fucking dead air. You got
Calm
an
down.
ideas about it, speak.
Oh, no. They can't hear you.
I don't know what to say.
It's written by Gareth Roberts, who also wrote The Lodger and also wrote Closing Time.
Yeah.
So basically, you guys are saying that Clara and Danny are going to be the new Ian and Barbara.
Yeah, and that's what my comparison, as I was saying, in Unearthly Child, you know, Lynn Cheston recounts how he had a strange conversation with Susan, where she was in almost precisely the same way that Clara has a flashback to Courtney's talking back to her. And yet again, we have a mysterious young girl in Coal Hill School. Coal Hill School. And so it's all sort of echoing the past.
I don't know. I can't see Clara as Barbara.
The only difference is Clara seems to want to stay on Earth. She wants to continue with her life, and the Doctor's always dropping her off and then coming back and picking her up. If Danny and Clara decide to become companions, she has to give that life up on Earth. Although the Doctor could return her to the point where she left, she could be 5 years older, 10 years older, and then have to explain that. So it doesn't look like at this point that she's going to say, yeah, I'm going to give up being a teacher and travel with you.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't think so either.
And I think the doctor knows that, which is why the doctor doesn't say you either come with me or stay here forever.
So do you think Courtney is basically, in essence, an unearthly child for 2014? Because
there's something going on with her.
Yeah.
Whether she's related to the doctor's another grandchild of the doctor. We know that. We don't know if we know the doctor has a grandchild, but that doesn't necessarily mean the doctor was ever married. But we know he has a grandchild.
Well, we know the past ones like Tennant and Matt Smith love to kiss a lot of people, so we don't know for sure.
Yep, we know he has a grandchild, which means he had to have a child. We don't know what happened to that child, and that child may have had more than one child. This Courtney could be a grandchild of the doctor, because they're time travelers. The child doesn't have to have been born 50 years ago. The child could have been born 12 years ago, our time. Their time. We don't even know if the doctor's child was a time traveler with the doctor.
Well, what about Jenny?
Woman or a man. Jenny's is we don't know anything about Jenny since she left. The doctor doesn't even know Jenny's alive.
They're all in the corner.
It could be a child of Jenny's.
All in the corner.
We just don't know. But there's something. There's definitely something going on with Courtney.
Could be the target of the android who just happens to be loitering around the school.
Yep.
What if it turns out to be Susan?
That would be epic, awesome.
Why would Susan go back to school? Well, because she regenerated it as a child. She would fit in a school.
That would be so cool, but Moffat's not going to do anything as good as that. He likes to shun the past, or
the Eighth Doctor reunited with Susan in Big Finish and Earthly Child.
Yeah. And featured Paul McGann's son as
as Susan's son.
It's like the Doctor's daughter, bizarrely enough. Well, so you have the setting of Coal Hill School. You have the Doctor going back to his mysterious ways in the same vicinity. You have Courtney. You have two teachers from Coal Hill School. And it's rather nice, that's rather cool. But unfortunately, unlike last week, I don't want to sort of jump to conclusion. And you have this strange, heavily armoured robot there for a purpose. It's either there to attack or after Courtney, or there to defend her.
We haven't had any Promised Land feels or anything yet, so it's probably going to be related to the Promised Land.
Or what? Like it would also be cool that the Red Tunnel came back.
Say that again.
It would be cool if he came back.
If who came back? You were muffled.
Ian
came back. Yeah, well, that's what a lot of people would like to see. The actor is still alive and well.
I would think if Ian would come back, it'd probably be a walk-on.
But Sarah Jane said that it was said that Ian and Barbara never aged. That doesn't mean that they never aged. It could mean it's just a rumor about them.
I mean, wasn't Ian's last name on the head of the?
Yeah, he's the what do they call it? The governor of the school or something. One of the reasons the classics were good is because it wasn't realistic. It was an escape. We wanted to escape from reality.
I hope the sonic screwdriver gets destroyed in this, actually.
You don't like it?
That's why Peter Davison got rid of his. It was just too easy for the Doctor to get out of scrapes. He'd rather use his mind to get out of it rather than just works on everything but wood and does anything you wanted to.
It is actually, quite clearly. Look at that battle droid for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
And it's lit up, so it's obviously he's attacking it or whatever. But since when could the sonic screwdriver take on an entire battle droid? This is the big bit where the Doctor says, "I know that face," near the end of the trailer itself. You see the expression. He's recognised the Doctor somehow, which is a theme of what's been mentioned.
Oh,
before.
listen. He
Listen.
probably recognizes him from Listen.
He saw the Doctor as a little boy.
That was erased from his mind.
Ah, yeah. Oh, I see.
I
So
know.
he remembered both. Oh, wouldn't he be remembering Clara as some pervy woman in his bedroom? years ago?
Probably in the back of his mind.
So, would this suggest that this is an episode where, well, we know the next episode is Killing the Moon, which is supposed to be a huge game changer, but this is like the sort of instance where things really start to happen.
I think this episode is going to be another romp like Robot of Sherwood. But what I don't want it to be is Clara's the main character again.
As long as it's not a love triangle, I'm happy.
That's been very sort of detrimental so far. The whole focus on the romance and Clara. I mean, that has really peeved people off, even fangirls, actually.
I mean, thing with him hugging on Clara and everything, Matt Smith. I was like, can you stop doing that?
Only romance I could think of in the classic time offhand is Katie Manning's character leaving because she's getting married.
Yeah, Green Death.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing I liked about it. In the classic one, it really wasn't about the romance.
No, it wasn't. It was about the Doctor solving things, not the companions being the savior of everyone.
I mean, Jo really didn't solve anything. You know, she had her moments, but other than that, no.
Yeah. And this does feature another instance of robots, which has been a recurrent theme since Listen. So I'm wondering whether all these instances...
Hang on, I'll mute myself for a minute. I have to move a chair.
Yeah. Okie dokie. It can't be a coincidence, really, can it? It's a bit too obvious.
Or it could be that Moffat doesn't know how to write, and all he can do is write robots.
Yeah. I think Moffat's scripts have really personally taken idea-wise and what's the expression? Putting it in execution-wise, they've just gone right down the toilet, as far as I'm concerned. It's like, fucking bullshit, a lot of them. And this is the second story in a row where he's been writing a story along with somebody else. Is he not capable of letting other writers do it themselves or something?
They could be rookie writers.
No, the one writing this isn't a rookie. He's been writing Doctor Who since the New Adventures days.
Yeah. He's written at least 2 other episodes. Like I said, the Larger was one of them.
Oh, I liked the Larger. That was pretty funny.
I just find it a bit strange that it just seems whenever Stephen Moffat co-writes a story,
it becomes crap.
Yeah, I mean, because you've got 2 writers, Stephen Thompson, and with I can't remember his name now, but it's like they want to do something completely different, and Stephen Moffat then decides to take it in a completely different direction, basically. He does it anyway. And listen, he had a perfectly good story up to the last 10 minutes, and then he decided to throw in some weird twist, which felt almost like it was from a totally different story altogether.
Mm-hmm. I could, yeah.
And that's, yeah, this is a room, everyone, where, yeah, that must be where
Where
that
the alien thing is.
and where the boarded door, you know, the
Mhm.
boarded up door was. And this is the version of that looks a bit like a Gallifreyan's symbol, actually, a little bit.
Isn't that the eyes of the creature?
Yes, possibly, yes. Yeah.
Or looking over the room or something?
And this is where the Doctor's watch thing there makes him
Ooh,
shift and disappear. Because if you look, go
right.
back a bit, there's him with the watch. There he is. You know,
Could he either be, he either disappeared or he blended into the to the surrounding area like a chameleon or something.
that's what I meant earlier about the predator thing. It's like a sort of, you know, stealth cloaking device, so you can be invisible.
What if it's like something like the TARDIS, like it could blend in around its environment?
Yeah, precisely.
Like he took like a chunk of the TARDIS and put it in like a little watch, and he could blend in around his environment.
Of course, yes, the invasion. You're right. You just reminded me of the invasion, Brian, where he made the entire TARDIS invisible. So, what do you think, Monk, the plot could be? What all of you do you think the plot could be if you had to make a guess?
I don't know.
Doctor,
Just as long as it's a good episode, I'm good.
the Doctor knows that the killer robot that can destroy everything is for some reason in the school, hiding somewhere, and he has to go undercover to figure out why. That's basically what I think the plot is.
Or maybe the doctor's trying to say, maybe the doctor's like, he's there because he knows there is something amiss among the students. Maybe whatever teacher is using the minds of the students or something for energy to do something to escape the school or go to the promised land. I don't know. Something with the promised land is going to be in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
probably
means
because didn't they say wow, like so far there's been like a pattern like where all the robots or machines are trying to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And
except that one, yeah.
So and this like villain is like a machine, a robot of some sort. So that could be the promised land.
That, and I also predict there's going to be some classic Who references.
oh, definitely. I mean, you've got Courtney, you've got two teachers, you've got Coal Hill School, you've got a location that bizarrely is at the same time as being of major importance to the very origins of Doctor Who.
Wait, you said there's a girl?
Yeah, Courtney.
With superior intelligence?
Yes, I mean, that's my analogy to the experiences of Ian Cheston in Unearthly Child, to what Clara remembered in flashback about Courtney, because they're very similar scenes, like a sort of strange reference. So it should be a very good episode, everyone. And I like the design of the robot, even though I'm sorry, but this is starting to get ridiculous. A sonic screwdriver can do, soon he'll be pointing that sonic screwdriver at an entire Dalek fleet and blowing them up, yeah. That has been Doctor Who Radio Show. That's the way it goes. Gets into a grouch. Thank you to you. Thank you, sweetheart. And thank you to you, Monk.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
And thank you to young Brian.
You're welcome.
And until next time, I think it's going to be a treat. A little bit of, like Neo said, references to the past, a return to a familiar stomping ground, and some new mysteries at Coral Hill School in Doctor Who, The Caretaker. Until next time, keep hooing.